Hello and welcome to your NARSA weekly update for the week commencing Monday the 2nd of February 2026. It's Gary here again, and what do you want to say about that last week there? A wee bit of a bumpy week, I think, and I was doing some preparation yesterday for the podcast today and looking at the difference in terms of the stats. You know, stats tell a story and you can bend that story however you want at times, but in terms of our chance creation, yeah, we just kind of stopped, and that doesn't really bode well for us supplying crosses and chances for our strike force and really continuing to sustain a charge at the top of the table. So that's a wee bit of a worry in terms of what that looks like right now. In terms of the transfer deadline, it is, what time is it? It's almost 2:00 my time. So what's that look like? I think that's 2 hours to go before the transfer window slams shut, as I think I am legally obliged to say. And it's been kind of quiet. It looks like the striker from Germany might not actually be joining us this window, as they are very keen to keep him until the end of the season, which is a wee bit disappointing for our chances of continuing to mount that charge that I was talking about there. But I don't know. We'll need to see exactly what happens. I did learn just before the recording here that Joe Rothwell has left, indeed, on a permanent transfer to Sheffield United. Good move for him, hopefully, and good move for us. He just wasn't featuring and just didn't seem to fit in at all from the very beginning. Not even, he was in when Russell Martin was here, and he's out now that Danny Rule's here. Nothing of the kind. So we'll see what that looks like. I also just seen that Scott Wright had headed to, where did he go? To Dundee from on loan from Birmingham. He was doing really well in Birmingham, then got a really bad injury, and I wonder if that's really hampered his chances down there for continued success with them or not. But who knows what's going to happen in the last couple of minutes. I was going to try and wait to record until after the transfer window was done, but kind of tough to do that. I've got work I need to get done during the day as well. So a bit of a run of games coming up here. Obviously, we're playing midweek in the league, and then on the weekend in Scottish Cup action, and then we are away to Motherwell, and then at home to Hearts, away to Livingston, who have a new manager now that Martindale has gone upstairs there, and then we're at home to that mob in this month here. So it's playing the two top teams, after we get away with, after we finalise the game with Kilmarnock here, and we're playing Motherwell, who are having a really good season, and they're just not too far behind us in fourth place. So big month for us. We need to get back to winning ways, and we need to get back to winning ways on Wednesday. Simple as that. Or we will be in a wee bit of soapy bubble, because I think what we're at now, we've got 14 games left to play. So basically by the end of this month, it's less than 10. And that's when you're starting to do all the mathematical calculations to say, right, who's playing who, when, where, and then you're starting to get a wee bit more information as to what things are going to actually look like. So we'll see what that looks like. But in terms of the games, I'll get through these as quickly as I can for this last week, because the results didn't work out the way that we were hoping they were going to work out. The first game was, of course, Thursday's 3-1 defeat in Porto. And if someone honestly had said to me, it's going to be 3-1 in Porto, I'd be like, you know what, that's fair enough. They're doing really, really well in the Portuguese league. They're actually probably one of the favourites to win the entire tournament, I would think. And but then on the balance of play, especially after the way we started, do you know what it was? In the moment, I've often said on this podcast and other podcasts, it's very difficult to be objective in the moment. When we're going through live real time, the trials and tribulations of what the games are bringing us, you get to a situation where you're not thinking clearly or rationally or anything. And if you watch it afterwards on replay or even on the highlights, you get a chance to see what happened. And overall, honestly, folks, I thought we did okay. I thought it was, we had that 20 minute spell where we lost three. I'll get to the goals in a second. We lost 3 goals, and other than that, it was all right. Now you could say, they took the foot off the gas, but a 2-goal lead in any competition is never enough. And I thought we gave a reasonably decent account of ourselves. I was fairly surprised, quite honestly, that he put as strong a team out as he did. I thought that would have been a great opportunity to get some of the fringe players there. And the big game for us of this last week was yesterday's game against Hibs, but no, he went out with a full squad there, and I thought that told on in terms of what happened in the game, obviously, and of that game itself, but also the hangover, the repercussions in Edinburgh on Sunday. The team looked tired. Team looked pretty lethargic there, but yeah, that's us wrapped up that very unsuccessful European run. We had a wee bit of hope at the beginning of the qualifying campaigns, and then Bruges just stopped us in our tracks, and we never really got going after that. That was Russell Martin's doing, and Kevin Thelwell as well, and that era that was thankfully fairly short-lived for us. But we did have a really good start, and we got a goal from a header, no less, from Gassama after some really good work. And, if I'm a Porto fan, I was, they would be thinking, wait a minute, have we swapped shirts with these guys? Because the stupidity of defending, we weren't going to be beat in that department, let's just say that. And they didn't defend it very well at all. And we got Gassama to score the goal in 1-0, and you're thinking, all right. And I thought it would have been maybe something, to really give us a boost to hang on to and see if we could maybe, widen that gap in terms of the scoreline. But it didn't really happen. One each when they worked. They got a break. I think, did it come off of, was it Magoma in the box maybe? And they did work. I kind of don't mind that when the teams are really working hard and probing and trying and putting balls into dangerous areas, because you're going to get a break, or you're maybe going to get an opportunity to get a shot away. So that's one each, and you're thinking, right, all right, that's too bad. And then 2-1 from. This is honestly the types and styles of goals that my team loses, that when I'm playing. It was just utter nonsense. Tav ends up stumbling on himself and kind of falling over, and the guy comes in and just pokes it in, just calamitous. Doesn't quite cut it for me. Just absolutely literally falling all over ourselves to gift them the second goal there. And then the third one was an OG, and it was very weird. Obviously Fernandez is a threat for us at the other end, and certainly a really good foil for us at the back. And he just went up for the header, got it all wrong, seemed to get his positioning wrong, and as he gets purchase on the header, it bullets straight into the net instead of going anywhere else as it kind of should have. So that was, sign of the times. I think that's basically what happened for us. In terms of positives, the campaign is done now. I feel better about that, I have to say. But I thought our start was good. I thought we started really well and worked hard to get the goal, and I thought we looked good. And then, at some points the game finishing 3-1 felt like a bit of a win, because they're a very good side, a quality side, and as I say, I wouldn't be surprised if they went on to do really, really well in the competition. That win there, unfortunately, they hadn't already secured the top 8 spot, so they were going out all guns blazing, and they got that top 8 spot. So yeah, we'll see what that looked like. I thought Diomande was good again. He's a big game player for us, obviously. And I'd heard afterwards, actually I read in the Rangers website yesterday, that Captain James Tavernier, he called Alan McGregor's all-time European appearances for the club with 109. Now, I didn't do any more research on that. I don't know who the all-time record holder is for that. Maybe it is them. They're tied now. I would imagine we would probably have heard about that, or it would have been written in a different way if that was the case. But 109 appearances for the club, after getting 100 league goals. I mean, this guy is racking up all of the impressive stats that we will look down on at some point down the road and say, wow, hey man, what a guy we had. That was terrific. So good for him. And that, in terms of the negatives, I thought the defending was ridiculous, especially for the second goal. And it was just like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And then the third goal, that's just a beezer of a mistake, isn't it? It's just a kind of mess. But here's the interesting thing. The stats said that we had 59% possession. So they were quite happy to give us the ball. We had 3 shots on goal with 2 on target. Obviously scoring one of them. And then they had 10 shots on goal with 3 on target. And score 3. Well, I guess not. We scored one of them, so maybe there was one they didn't score. But yeah, they were more ruthless than we were, unfortunately. And that shot creation, shots on goal, in terms of the stats, as I mentioned at the top of the show today, it's just dropped off a cliff this last week in both of the games. It's a worry, because we were creating a lot of chances before that. So hopefully that's something that was just unique to both games, and part of the game plan. Not part of the game plan not to score goals, but part of the game plan that maybe we keep possession and don't create so many chances. Who knows? I have no idea. In terms of the referee watch, I don't really recall the guy being overly annoying about anything, so you'll get the standard 7 out of 10. And the second game was yesterday's snooze fest, for want of a better phrase, there in Edinburgh. Usually they're good games in Edinburgh, whether it's against Hearts or Hibs, and I don't know. It was a very tough watch, and we had a party the day before for my love's milestone birthday that I'm not going to tell you how old she was. So we had the 50th party the day before, and it was a later night than it should have been, and get myself up in the morning, and then I'm watching it, not feeling quite myself, let me just say. And it was just boring. It was a tough watch, wasn't it? I think that the biggest talking point of the whole game, entire game, was the offside when Mikey Moore had scored in the second half. And I don't know, apparently they showed it, they showed the line and his fingernail was offside or whatever. And I think I mentioned before, I don't understand that. I thought you had to be offside for, a part of your body that you could score with. But I think, did someone correct me on that? I can't remember now. But not the case. We were in a situation where if there's anything that's across the threshold, then it's offside. It's very, very, very close. And it's too bad when it gets to that point where it used to be back in the day that the advantage always went to the attacking team, and it doesn't seem to be the case now. It's actually we're being penalised for attacking now, which is too bad. And here's another interesting thing for me. That's the first time I can remember that we've had a tough first half where the opposition are doing their best to take it to us, and we're not really at our best. And Danny Rule didn't make a single substitution at half time, which I thought was odd. I thought that was, especially after the way the first half had went, you're kind of like, okay, he's going to wait till half time, he's going to do a couple of tweaks, and then we'll see what we get in the second half. No, he didn't bother doing that, which is interesting. I think that Mikey Moore, when he did come on, made a big difference, certainly in the beginning. The whole team ended up just kind of flattening down towards the end of the game there. But, other than that, there was a kind of meek or weak overhead kick towards the end. And I think the stats actually said we had a couple of shots on target. I don't remember, unless Moore's was classified as a shot on target, even though it was offside. I didn't recall another shot on target, if I'm being honest. And I think the thing is, for me, you need to go and earn the right to win games, every game, but specifically tough away games against a team who have caused us problems in the past, and we didn't go and earn the right to win that game. We just it looked like we were just waiting for something to happen rather than actually going and making something happen, and that's disappointing. That's not the way that we're going to win this league right now. And what that does is that puts us back down to third, because that mob had a 2-0 win at home and then took away the goal difference, the advantage that we'd had the week before. So a wee bit frustrating, a little bit flat, a little bit empty there, and maybe it's the last time we need to worry about a European hangover. So that's a good thing, hopefully, and then we'll just hopefully get ourselves back on the winning trail here very, very shortly. In terms of the positives, a point when we're that bad and we get a point, fair enough. Clean sheet as well, that's pretty good. Doesn't look like we suffered any injuries or anything like that. In terms of the negatives, the no shots or lack of shots for me is a concern, because, as I say, I don't know if 2 games is a pattern, but we went from like well into the teens of shots being created and to single figures. I mean, that was what was that? It says we had, what was that, 55% possession again, so they're happy to give up possession. 4 shots on goal with 2 on target. That feels kind of generous, to be honest, based on what I remember seeing, versus Hibs had 13 shots with 6 on target. So they were the ones that was taking it to us, not the other way around. I think from a negatives part, to go back to that, I just hope, as I said, that there's something to it where that was what was going to happen in terms of our chance creation and our opportunities to retain possession, basically, and keep things safer, rather than going for it. I don't know the technicalities too much, but to go from very high chance creation to very, very low chance creation over 2 games, 2 difficult away games, albeit, okay, Let's keep an eye on that. Maybe we'll do that together. Keep an eye on that and we'll see what happens. So as I mentioned a couple of times already, we are going to play Kilmarnock on Wednesday at home. They had a really good result on the weekend, and we're hoping that Neil McCann, Billy Dodds, does a bit of a favour and give us a wee bit of an easy time there. That's on Wednesday, the 4th of February, and it's a 7:45 UK kick-off to see what that looks like, and we should be taking care of them handily, and getting some goals in the process would be kind of cool as well. And then we take on, or do we? Or don't we? Or do we? Or don't we? We take on Queen's Park in the Scottish Cup. That's on Sunday, the 8th of February, and that's a 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff. Wednesday's game is at 2:45 Eastern Standard Time kickoff. So a wee bit an hour earlier than a typical 3 o'clock UK kickoff time would be. And all we need to say is we know exactly what happened last year around about the same time. And that should have been Philippe Clement's last game in charge of the club, but it wasn't. And we kept going for a wee while longer. But we're now in a situation where we're more efficient, we're more proficient, and we're hopefully more professional, and we'll take care of this mob. And no drama, boys. Just get this done and out the way. In terms of shout-outs for this week, I did mention briefly earlier that we did have a party down at Palomino, which is the previous home of the Rangers Supporters Club of Calgary. And Dan and the whole team there did a great job for us, and we had a lot of people there. It was an absolutely brilliant day at the time. Absolutely flew by. And the usual, like we're all in kind of close quarters. There's about 50 or 60 people there. And I don't get a chance to speak to everybody because you're just blethering with old folks, but it was absolutely brilliant. It was great to celebrate her, and great to celebrate with the family and friends at the same time. And as I said, it ended up going into the wee hours a wee bit. And yesterday I was like, why, man? Come on, Gary. You know better here, but it was worth it, I would say. And speaking of birthdays, it's also my brother-in-law Andy Carey's birthday today, the 2nd of February, Andy's birthday, and we're not getting a chance to get together to celebrate. I think they had a wee bit of a birthday do on their own yesterday, and I wasn't invited, which is a wee bit awkward. It makes me feel kind of bad about myself, which is not a very difficult thing for me to do. Should I feel insecure about that? I hope not. Oh my word, who knows? But he's not a big celebrator of his birthday, and that's the fact. But we are all going to Nashville in a few weeks, and we like to create a trip round about, because my sister Debbie's birthday is on the 17th, and my nephew Callum's birthday, as I mentioned last week, is on the 31st of January. So we've got a whole bunch of birthdays around at the same time, so we try and celebrate that together. So we're going to go away down to Nashville and enjoy that, and go and see Nathan Evans and the St. Phoenix Band down there, and do a wee bit of NARSA 2026 recce as well. So very, very happy birthday to you, Andy, and it was great to see and spend some time with you on Saturday. Here's another one. Here's talking about birthdays. Connor Gunn. And this is a bit of a theme, because Andy used to be the social media guru for NARSA, and he passed the reins over to Connor Gunn, who has subsequently passed the reins on to Colin Bowman. And Colin and his lovely lady are now officially parents. They welcomed into the world Amelia Izzy Gunn, born on the 29th of January. So it was that Thursday. And mother baby are doing well. He sent a photograph to the NARSA WhatsApp chat listen, just a gorgeous wee thing. He said he tried to get her to be called Danny Rule, and he got overruled by that, which is a little bit of a worry so early into a marriage. There seems to be some misunderstanding about what Rangers is all about. So hopefully he has an opportunity to educate his missus about that and do what's right for the next one that's coming along. But absolutely brilliant. Congratulations, Connor and the family, and I hope everything is going great. You will have the wee one home by now, I suspect, and you full-blown dad mode. Oh, God, I remember that. I remember that. Leo's now coming up for 17 in May, and I remember all of it. It was just all so fun and fascinating and such. Just another shout out for Nathan Evans and the St. Phoenix Band's album, The Angel Share, which is their world tour. They're actually on tour now, and we will meet up with them down in Nashville, as I mentioned. And Callum Beattie's INDI album, the last I checked yesterday, again, it's still number 4 in the album chart, so incredibly popular album there. So brilliant for him, and he's doing some great stuff. He really is, and it's just absolutely brilliant to see. And it feels great that maybe NARSA helped in some way, having him over in Vegas in 2022, and having them down to Kissimmee in Florida in 2025. So everyone's doing their bit, and it's great to see it all coming out. For the, what would this be now, the second last time? I will tell you about NARCO, the North American Rangers Curry Organisation event, which is taking place on the weekend of the 12th to the 15th. That's Thursday to Sunday. Most of it's in Myrtle Beach, down in the USA, and most of it is held at the old Bull and Bush pub, and there's going to be some golfing, there's going to be some lunches and bits and pieces like that. But I will leave. There is a curry night. That's the whole point of the curry weekend, and that's going to be at the Masala Indian Bistro on the Saturday night there. And if you need any details about that, if you're in the area, or you're going to be in the area, or you're thinking about maybe taking a quick trip, you can email narco2025@outlook.com. That's narco2025@outlook.com. Amanda and Jason Junior Ross are running the London Marathon in April on behalf of or in support of the Royal British Legion. And if you are inclined to support them, you can certainly do so via the link that we will leave in the show notes for this week as well. In terms of the convention update, now that's the name of the section, but we're not calling it a convention this year, you remember. Destination NARSA 2026 for Nashville, Tennessee, United States of America is now 127 days and 18 weeks away. Oh boy, the time is going so quick. Tickets are out for sale. Of course, please don't delay in getting your tickets. It really helps us know and understand what the volume of numbers are going to be like. We have the hotel out. We've actually sold the first tranche of hotel rooms, and I've had to secure a second block, which is good news. But the ticket sales don't marry the hotel block sales, so something is amiss here. I'm not 100% sure what it is. Hopefully it's ticket sales, and you'll get a chance to come along and enjoy it with us. And we are in a situation where we have our guest list almost finalised. There's maybe still the odd wee thing or two that I'm going to be able to tell you about next week. But we are in a situation where we are working on the itinerary. I know I've said that for a wee while. There's going to be a wee twist on some of the events, and one of them I'm going to talk about here shortly. But just as a reminder, the event proper starts on the very first day of the World Cup, and there will be a World Cup theme through the entire event, culminating in the Saturday night, where we'll get a chance to see Scotland's World Cup opener against Haiti there as well. So lots and lots of really cool things there. Just another reminder that we have 9-in-a-row legend Davy Robertson as our guest. We have Scott Nisbet, 9-in-a-row cult hero, is going to join us as well. We have Stuart Hay from an entertainment perspective, the writer and the host and overall guru of the journey back. We have David Edgar as our MC extraordinaire, and we have DJ Angry Bear, aka Colin Bowman from the Orlando Rangers Supporters Club. And what I'm delighted to announce is starting to feel a bit like a NARSA event, and we do have our Davy Cooper Memorial Golf Tournament, and I should say actually the Davy Cooper Memorial Top Golf Tournament for this year, because we're doing it in one of the Top Golfs, which is fairly close to the hotel, and that is now out for booking. And we will get the information out to our socials and such. There will be a link in the show notes for this week as well. And it's going to be $100. $100 gets you transportation there and back. It gets you finger food and some soft drinks and such. And the bar is going to be open if you want to buy some beers and such. And it gets us, I think it's 3 hours of golf there, aided and abetted by a professional, or supported, I should say. Maybe abetted, that feels like there's something criminal or nefarious going on. And we get a professional there that helps us know and understand how the whole Top Golf thing works. I haven't done Top Golf, but I've done something similar to that. It's always a lot of fun, and it's basically for any skill level that we're hoping to get there. So we're hoping for a big crowd. The golf has kind of waned a wee bit the last couple of years, where there used to be really big crowds would come and golf, and it's been a lot smaller the last couple of years. So hopefully this year, with it being a golf for everyone, that we'll get some couples there who might not have particularly went. That's going to be on the Friday, which is the 12th of June, and we're going to do a 9 o'clock start for that. So not too early, but not too late. So there's going to be plenty of time later in the day if you want to go do an excursion, if you want to go and explore the highlights and such. You get an opportunity to do that. So $100 gets you your transportation there and back. It gets you your food and soft drinks. It gets you your golf. It gets you access to the professional. And there's going to be a trophy for the Davy Cooper Memorial Golf Trophy, which was won by the Campbell clan in Kissimmee this last year. It's going to make an appearance again, and the winners of the Top Golf tournament are going to be presented with the iconic Davy Cooper Memorial Golf Trophy as well. So if you're into that, I will see you there. I'm definitely going to do that. That's a lot of fun. I was trying to say, look, can we not just do it 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock so we can get a lie in? But we're standing firm on the 9 o'clock. That's okay because the bar's open anyway, so I'm kind of cool with that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll get more details out on our socials and our email distribution list for that. And hopefully you will be able to come and join us. In terms of the Gers guide for this week, there was indeed one prior to recording, which is great. And the stuff we have going today, there was a presser, an interview after yesterday's Hibs game with Tochi Chukwani, and I didn't actually hear what he said on that, so I actually need to go and check that out myself. And then there is a special feature on the Rangers women's team highlights from their semi-final Sky Sports Cup penalty shootout win against that mob from the East End. It was 3 each in regular time, with Rangers equalising like in the 90-something minute to take it to, I don't know if it went to extra time or just went straight to penalties, and then they managed to win 4-2 on penalties. So they're now going to play Glasgow City. Talk about the two hardest teams in the semi-final and the final, and they're going to play Glasgow City, and that's on the 29th of March, and that's going to be at Fir Park as well. So hopefully we don't clash with the men's team there, and we get an opportunity to go. That's the fourth final in a row, and I think the Rangers women's team are looking to win it for a fourth time in a row as well. So that's our cup right now, which is great. So good for them for getting through the game and equalising so late, and then taking that in to the penalty shootout. It's just always good to beat that mob, isn't it? Just any time. So that's a great thing. Tomorrow is the press conference for the Kilmarnock game, and there's also the loan review. There's actually some other bits and pieces going on tomorrow. I think actually tomorrow there's another feature maybe about the women's team victory over that mob there. So if you're riding high on the crest of a wave in terms of what that looks like, then go check that out as well. Wednesday, of course, is the Kelly game. Not a lot. Oh, sorry, actually the press conference for the Queen's Park game is slated for Thursday. So I wonder if they just want to get that out of the way, or they're maybe going to give the team a couple of days off or something. I'm not 100% sure, but not a lot going on Friday, Saturday. And then on Sunday, of course, we have the Queen's Park game, 2 p.m. UK kickoff. And Rangers are away to Hamilton, back in Premier League action now. And that's at New Douglas Park with a 2:30 p.m. UK time kickoff. So that's there as well. And yeah, a bit of a lighter show in terms of content for this week. And I didn't hear anything from Colin McCabe from Dubai in terms of how the event went last week, and I assume it went great. I did message him saying I hope it's going great, but I know what it's like in these events. You get 500 messages a day about all sorts of stuff. So hopefully I'll hear that it went well and see what sort of fun and hilarity ensued there. And it's just a warm up for NARSA 2026. So hopefully that works out. And hopefully it did work out. It looked like certainly the guests all made it there, and all the guests were looking great. So good for them. As always, I'll take this opportunity to ask you to please do like and subscribe this if you're watching or catching it on YouTube. That would really help us out, and it makes things easier for us if we're doing marketing and sponsorship and such, that it gets us an opportunity to get to explain our numbers and explain the reach that people would have if they were to advertise or market with us. Okay, my friends, that will do it for this week. As always, thank you very, very, very much for taking the time to tune into this one, and please do share it with someone that you think might enjoy it. Not so much enjoy the game recap, but maybe some of the other content. But until next week, 2 massive games, nothing less than a handsome win in both games will do for us to give us that impetus to really have a successful end to the season here. So that's what you need to do, Danny and team. Until next week, please do take care of yourself and all the very best, okay? Follow.